Welcome to the CEO Behind the Scenes podcast. Today, we are exploring a topic that keeps on coming up in our community. What does it really mean to be radically generous and on your own terms? Vicky Saunders, founder of CEO, and myself, Hannah Cree, CEO Venture in Residence, had an impromptu conversation about it, and we recorded it. So let's jump in.
Well, on the brand promise or the brand platform from Ali, radical generosity fuels a new operating system, right? That line, like get that line embodied in all of us. It's not just in how we operate our businesses, it's how we operate ourselves. Radical generosity fuels everything that we do, this new operating system. And what that means is, from an on your own terms perspective, when we say you can show up as CEO on your own terms and people go, oh, but I really should be helping more. I need to do more, but I'm too busy. This is where we go, are you practicing radical generosity on yourself? Are you giving yourself a break in the middle of your crazy life and saying, it's okay that I'm not showing up on every call or any calls. It's okay that I did nothing this year except for activate because my world went upside down. That is, practice radical generosity in yourself, and that is on your own terms here. It's not just, oh, I gave money and that's radical generosity, or I gave my time and that's radical generosity. There's multiple different instances of this, and each person is different, and you have to practice it inside and outside. That's how I think about it.
Yeah, I love that piece. Because I think so many people go into radical generosity must just be that we're gifting $1,100. Yeah, and it's like, for myself as a venture, being on the venture calls that we were doing when COVID hit, I remember one of the ventures showing up saying, I haven't been to all of these calls and everything is crazy and I'm so sorry. And then I took a deep breath and I was like, that's totally okay. You get to show up here on your own terms. And there was like this collective breath that happened. Like all of us were just like, and so as entrepreneurs to be told like, that's okay. We don't need, and it takes away all the apologies and takes all of that. It's like, we're here when you need us. And maybe in this craziness, you should be asking for help because it sounds like, things are crazy, but radical generosity is also, for me, my experience has been just to be able to accept people at where they're at right there, right now, which then translates into acceptance for yourself at where you're at and what you're doing. And so, and not having to change everything. So it's not just this, oh, we gifted $1,100. I love that you said it's in the operating system, because as a team, like the behind the scenes team of CEO, what does that look like every day? As we're, in campaign, in 3 countries, looking for ventures, looking for activators, things are crazy right now.
Yep. Yeah. And I just really think that we are so conditioned for more, do.
More.
And one of them, but that's in a world of scarcity. Like there's not enough people to help, and therefore I have to help. And oh my God. And so the really unique thing again about our model is that we are designed with abundance. So there are 500 women, or hundreds, and now thousands of women in each country who are there if you can't be, right? And so it's not like, oh my God, I'm an activator, therefore I have to show up because like, what's going to happen? The sky's going to fall if I don't. Actually, it doesn't. And you still matter, but you don't have to show up all the time. And that, again, is a design principle built into one of our values and practices that we have a lot. So don't worry about it if you can't show up right now. So there's a lot to unravel. And I think, in the early days, radical generosity was very tied. It was like, welcome to, it's a radically generous contribution of $1,100. And we said it 700,000 times. So now it's like in everyone's DNA that radical generosity equals money. But that's not the core. We're learning that, right? That was part of our scarcity mindset when we started thinking, oh my God, without the money, this thing dies. There's just so much else going on too. So it's yes and plus sign, it's the plus sign for all of these pieces. So I think that's how I come at it from on your own terms. And then One other thing that kind of comes up for me is on your own terms doesn't just mean like I show up and go, hey, introduce me to some funders, would you, Vic? That's not on your own terms either. That is on your own terms, but it's not on my own terms. And we're in a relationship. And so don't call me 5 minutes before you need something and say, hey, I need this. We have to build relationships together. So there's some nuance to all these words, right? It doesn't just mean you show up and take. The give and take this and the reciprocity that is deeply baked into the concept of radical generosity has to be kind of unwoven in you to recognize that this really only shows up if you're deeply connected in.
Yeah, I want to flip that piece, because we always talk about, on your own terms and everyone's busy and show up when you can, but it's like you want to show up in this community because when you're so busy and everything is so crazy, the support is actually here. And so being radically generous to yourself is to, book maybe that 1 hour or a 15-minute chat with another person and be in relationship with them, because you're being radically generous to yourself of growing yourself or growing relationships or being in community. And it does take time to build.
Yep, it does. Absolutely.
But on the flip side, when you show up as your whole self and you're like, I'm here to give and I'm here to ask, like that, both kind of in circular motion with each other, there are magical things that can happen. But because you've done that work.
Totally. We had to create a hashtag for it because we're like, this thing, what is this thing? Oh, it's magic. Oh yeah, right. CEO magic.
Thank you for listening to Behind the Scenes Podcast. Let us know your thoughts about what it means to be radically generous to yourself and others. If you have a question or topic about SheEO, please send us a voice note to hi@sheo.world. Until next time.